Good early afternoon. Is that good? Did I get it? Whew, I was getting coffee. Anyway, good early afternoon. I'm Andy Andrews. Glad to be here with you guys. A bunch of people in the studio audience. How are y'all doing? Good to see everybody. Tommy, they got you doing the cash register. Oh my gosh. Well, it's a good day. It's Tuesday. I had an epidural this morning, and I'm not even pregnant. How about that? So, had an epidural in my back. Shanda Danner, happy Tuesday. Glad to see you. Caleb Driscoll, good afternoon from South Texas. Sandy Atkins, I love the hey y'all from El Salvador. Good morning, Andy and crew from sunny Richland, Washington. That's Marcy Crossup Taylor. Glad it's sunny there. It's sunny here too. There's just like a hint of, I don't know, it's like a hint of winter and spring is trying to break through. Dave Hugo, good to see you. How was my trip to Minnesota? Hard for me not to get mad at cold, because it was cold. I mean, I'm telling you, it was cold. And then, so I went up there with Dan. Hey, John Mason Smith. Speaking of Dan, greetings from Amelia Island, home of the other shrimp festival. And we actually talked about you, John. Dan and I did, and it was all good. How about that? But Dan Stone, he's the best friend, but he used to be our preacher here at Floribama, and so he and his family lived on the beach, and so Dan is evidently the stupidest preacher that's ever existed. He moved from the beach to Duluth, Minnesota, where I did both services for them Sunday morning, and it was 15 degrees with 30 mile an hour winds. 15 degrees, Matthew. Whew. Dan pulled up Sunday morning. He pulled up to a side thing, and I said, "Is that door unlocked?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "You sure?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay." Because if it wasn't, I was going to have you unlock it before I get out of the car and start running for it. So then I get to the airport right after the second service in Duluth. Duluth to Minneapolis. That went fine. On Delta, Duluth to Minneapolis, that went fine. And then the Minneapolis flight is delayed. So that means that I have already missed my connection in Atlanta. So now I'm already not gonna be home till 11 o'clock. All right. So I missed my connection in Atlanta, and they put me on the last flight out of Atlanta. And so when I get there, it's delayed. And it doesn't leave Atlanta till 1:45 in the morning. So I actually pull into my driveway at 3:30. So Delta is ready when you are? Now Delta's ready when Delta is ready. And I'll tell you the thing that really aggravated the heck out of me is when I got to Atlanta, that early flight that I supposedly missed was at A3. So I run to A3 because it shows that it's still there. And I've got my ticket. And I get to A3 and it's still there. And the door's still open. But they won't let me on. God, that drives me crazy. I said, "Nick, that plane is right there, and you're not going to let me on." "No, sir, we can't." Can't? Can't? Or won't? Anyway, airlines drive me crazy. Charlie Marlowe, greetings from the Pentagon. Got a bunch of people watching in that 5-sided building. Tell them, hey, I think is it you that I have heard from that people in the Pentagon watch this show at lunch? Boy, be careful about doing that now. You might get fired. I was just talking about you the other day, and here you are. This is Tiffany Thomas Hurley. Saw me at an ACN conference many moons ago. Made an impact on my life. Love your stories, how you tell them. I was just talking about you the other day, and here you are. You're right. Here I am. And we've got a great show for you today. I have been threatening this show for a long time. Been threatening this topic for quite a while. Because this topic is very interesting to me. Now, before I tell you what the topic is, we're going to play you a piece from Wisdom Harbor. As you know, Wisdom Harbor, wisdomharbor.com is our streaming service that goes into homes, schools, and some businesses. And our stated goal is to create America's next greatest generation by creating conversations with adults and younger people. Something that's not happening anymore for the last 2 generations. There's been no conversations. But with wisdomharbor.com, this is a streaming service that has 21 different docs. Yeah. And all the docs are filled by contributors who are doing, and the docs are like the Bet You Didn't Know doc, the In Other Words doc, the How Do I doc, the Kids doc, the Salty Mug doc, the audiobooks doc, the music doc, the writer's doc. There's something for everybody, and so these schools are being able to use these as pieces, you know, under English or history or science or biology or culinary arts. And so the contributors are comedians, speakers, CEOs, chefs, Grammy winners that are delivering these things, and I'm delivering a few of them too. And so before I tell you what the topic for today is, I happened to think of a Bet You Didn't Know that we did, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and I did it, so it's me, you'll see, doing this. And it has to do with what we're going to talk about today. So we thought we would show everybody. Now, if you're not a member of Wisdom Harbor, it's $27 for the whole year, okay? So come on. I mean, come on. Let's go ahead and hurry up and join, and then get a subscription also for your children who live somewhere else and your grandchildren, so that you can talk about some of this stuff and have something to talk about other than how is school, how is baseball going. Speaking of baseball, let's talk about softball. As you know, this show is the official noontime show of the Orange Beach Lady Makos. By the way, the last 4 games that the Lady Makos have played, it was 15-0, 16-0, 7-0, and 8-0. And if you're in this area, or if you're visiting, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the girls play 2 home games each day right over here at the stadium. And so if you want to see something that is unbelievable, I mean, they won the national championship last year. They won the state champs for 4 years in a row, and these girls are unbelievable. I mean, they are unbelievable. So if you want to come see an unbelievable game, come on. Night Award says, always enjoy the programs. Greetings from Oklahoma. Renee Dixon Clardy, good day. Diane Hale from East Tennessee. All right, Matt, you ready to play this? Bet you didn't know? All right, so this is from Wisdom Harbor. It's like a 6 or 7 minute piece. So just watch this with us at home in the studio. You've got the 4 monitors here that you can watch. And here we go. Bet you didn't know that I can make you feel like a genius in less than 7 minutes. It's true. Just watch and see if you don't feel a whole lot smarter when I'm finished. Here we go. As commonplace as warning labels seem today, it wasn't until 1966 when the United States Congress passed a law mandating the very first warning label. It was a single sentence written to appear on cigarette packages. Warning, it said, cigarette smoking may be hazardous to your health. It was just a may be hazardous because nobody really knew. Prior to this first ever warning label, doctors advertised cigarettes. Doctors, a future president, even Santa Claus was on the cigarette bandwagon. In 1973, Congress decided that all products containing toxic substances should have labels. Alcohol was required to have the Surgeon General's warning in 1989. And in March of 1990, warning labels were put on music products that contained potentially offensive lyrics. For another couple of years, the tiny caution signs trickled in on various products for generally valid reasons. But in 1992, when McDonald's lost a $3 million lawsuit because a woman spilled coffee in her own lap, well, let's just say the warning label avalanche had begun. Today, warning labels are everywhere. Most labels are placed to limit civil liability in lawsuits against the manufacturer or seller. That often results in warning labels that simply state what should be obvious. I call them warning labels for dummies. See if you don't feel smarter after checking this list. On a package of Nytol, now these are sleeping pills, there is a notice, warning, may cause drowsiness. Hey, if you're taking Nytol, don't you hope so? On the motor of many brands of chainsaws, you can find this warning, along with a pretty graphic drawing. Danger, it says. Do not hold the wrong end of a chainsaw. How about this on the gas caps of some jet skis and ATVs? Never use a lit match or open flame to check fuel level. They should have added, if you didn't already know this, you're not legally permitted to leave your house. Several manufacturers of hair dryers thought it was important to warn their customers about the dangers of sleep drying. I mean, it must have happened to somebody. The warning label clearly states, do not use while sleeping. Now, you may think we're making this one up, but on this package is actually printed, this carton may contain eggs. Seriously. W.H. Collins' Vanishing Fabric Marker packaging instructs that the vanishing fabric marker should not be used as a writing instrument for signing legal documents. Well, that takes all the fun out of paying by check. The Hubish washing machine comes with a label that demands, do not put any person in this washer. I'll do the whites first. Next load can be the kids. MDW Outdoor Group's Fox Bobcat urine powder is clearly labeled in red, not for human consumption. I have to say, you hate to think it, but this label had to have been used because someone somewhere said, you know, I'm not really hungry, but that urine powder looks mighty tasty. Here's a Kellogg's cereal bowl. The label warns that this bowl is not for use by anyone under the age of 8. And even then, only with adult supervision. Breakfast can be dangerous, folks. Bialetti Casa Italiana's non-stick cookware. And the label says, keep pet birds out of the kitchen when using this product. There's got to be a story there somewhere. On all Rowenta irons, the warning label plainly cautions, do not iron clothes on body. Once again, this label has to have been included because someone actually said, you know, I'm ready to walk out the door. I just don't have time to take off my clothes. This one's from Apple. When the company introduced its digital music player, the iPod Shuffle, Apple added this warning label: do not eat. And finally, here's the warning label on a box of rat poison. Has been found to cause cancer in laboratory mice. Isn't that like saying to the rats, we don't want you to get cancer, we just want to kill you? So at the end of the day, does everything need a warning label? The answer to that question is no. According to law, a manufacturer has a duty to display a warning label when the danger is not obvious or well known to the user. Which means that while a Barbie doll requires a warning label, a shotgun does not. Bet you didn't know that. You know who warning labels are for? Do you know? Shanda Danner, you like my shirt? Thank you very much. My shirt comes from the Lifestyle Place. Sanddollar Lifestyles. If I had not thought of that in time, you could have said that I was afflicted with the same thing that the people warning labels are for have. You know what that is? Stupidity. I've wanted to do a show about stupidity for a long time. I've wanted to just examine stupidity. You know, in 1976, so this is my research, okay? In 1976, an economist, Carlo Cipolla, said the greatest existential, how do you say that word?
Existential?
All right, say it for me here. Ready? Okay. The economist said that the greatest
Existential.
threat to humanity is stupidity. That is the greatest
Existential.
threat to humanity. And this particular economist came up with a whole list of stupid stuff. And we've divided into 5 laws. These are the 5 laws of stupidity that we think apply to humanity. Number 1 is that everyone always underestimates the number of stupid people in circulation. It's always an underestimated number. Matt, you know how stupid the average person is, right? Okay, well, half of them are stupider than that. How about that? No matter how many idiots that you suspect you're surrounded by, you're invariably underestimating the total. Okay, this problem is compounded by the assumption that some people are intelligent because of superficial factors like their job, their education, or other characteristics that we think those characteristics rule out stupidity. For example, Justin Bieber is excluded because he's a multimillionaire. And yet that brings us to the second law. Law number 2, the probability that a person is stupid is independent of any other characteristic of that person. Cipolla thinks that stupidity is a variable that remains constant in all populations in every country around the world. Every category you can imagine: gender, ethnicity, that's right, yeah. Ethnicity, nationality, education, income, every characteristic you can think of has a fixed percentage of stupid people. University professors can be stupid, and millionaires can be stupid too. And there are stupid people in every nation on earth. How many idiots are among us? It's impossible to answer, because any assumption would violate the first law. And that first law is that everyone always underestimates the number of stupid people in circulation. Is this making sense? Is this making sense to you? Yeah, a lot of nods, okay. Law number 3, a stupid person is a person who causes losses to another person or group of people when he or she does not even benefit and may even suffer loss themselves. Cipolla says this is the golden law of stupidity. That a stupid person is a person who causes problems for others without any clear benefit for himself. And that makes sense. Can't help posting fake articles on Facebook. You know they're fake and you're posting them. It's not going to benefit you, might hurt other people. That's stupid. The receptionist at the hotel who keeps you on the phone for an hour, hangs up on you twice and still manages to screw up your reservation. That's stupid. An airline that leaves a plane with an open door for 20 minutes with empty seats on it. That's stupid. See, this law also introduces 3 other phenotypes that coexist with stupidity. There is the intelligent person whose actions benefit both himself and others. There is the burglar who gets rich at the expense of other people. And there is the abused, the defenseless person whose actions enrich other people at his own expense. Non-stupid people are an imperfect and inconsistent group. You know, sometimes they act intelligently, sometimes they're abused or selfish villains, and sometimes maybe a bit of both. But the stupid, in comparison, are models of consistency, acting at all times with an unwavering degree of idiocy. They are very consistent. However, constant stupidity is the only thing constant about stupidity. That's what makes stupid people so dangerous. Essentially, stupid people are dangerous and harmful because reasonable people find it difficult to understand or imagine unreasonable behavior. I mean, have you ever had a conversation with somebody? You go, I don't know that I can even argue that. That's just like stupid. An intelligent person can understand the logic of a burglar. The actions of a burglar follow a pattern of rationality. You know, it's a crazy rationality, but it's rational. You know, I'm robbing you so that I can enrich myself. But the stupid person will harass you without any reason, without any advantage, without any plan, and at the most improbable times and places. You have no rational way of telling if, when, where, how, or why he or she will attack you or come against what you believe. You know, facing a stupid individual, you're completely at their mercy. This analysis leads to law number 4. Law number 4 states that non-stupid people always underestimate the destructive power of stupid people. You get that? Normal people always underestimate the destructive power of stupid people. In particular, non-stupid people, normal people, in particular, normal people constantly forget that at all times, in all places, under all circumstances, dealing and associating with stupid people is always a costly mistake. We underestimate idiots, and we do so at our peril. It's one of those things. I mean, how many times have you dealt with somebody and you weren't really disappointed at the screw up because you kind of knew they were like that. You know, you knew that they never did anything right. But you hired them anyway. You know, I mean, I refer to that. I refer to that as when somebody tells you who they are, believe it the first time. You know, if somebody tells you that they're incompetent or that they're stupid, believe them the first time. So this brings us to our 5th and final law. Law number 5. A stupid person is the most dangerous type of person. And its direct consequence, a stupid person is more dangerous than a burglar. We can't do anything about idiots. The difference between societies that collapse under the weight of their stupid citizens and those that transcend them is the composition of the non-stupid. How many normal people do you have? Those who progress despite their innate stupidity the nations that progress despite the stupidity, they have a high proportion of people who act intelligently, those who counterbalance the losses of stupid by bringing gains for themselves and other people. Declining societies have the same percentage of stupid people as prosperous societies, but they also have a high percentage of defenseless people. And there's no defense against stupidity. The only way for a society to avoid being crushed by the burden of its idiots is for the non-stupid to work even harder to compensate for the losses of the stupid. And there is my rant on stupid people. But I've collected a few quotes for you to end our day with. And these are, I just think these are, Marcy Crosser Taylor said, and the stupid people are driving on the road. They are. So here's some great quotes. Napoleon said, in politics, stupidity is not a handicap. Wow. I'm believing that one. I mean, I'm thinking we should start every presidential debate with that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first Republican-Democrat debate of this presidential election, and we would like to start tonight by quoting Napoleon Bonaparte, who said that in politics, stupidity is not a handicap. Now we'll go first to, I would love to see that. All right, how about this one? This is Edith Sitwell. She says, I am patient with stupidity, but not with those who are proud of it. My wife said about somebody one time, this was years ago, but I still remember this. My wife, and I guess this is a great quote, she said, he's stupid, but the thing that really infuriates me is he'll never know how stupid he is because he's so stupid. Okay, Edward Abbey said, and I love this one, said, one person alone can be pretty dumb sometimes, but for a real bona fide stupidity, there ain't nothing can beat the teamwork of a committee. That was Edward Abbey. Now, Elbert Hubbard, who is the guy who wrote a letter for Garcia, a letter to Garcia. That was Elbert Hubbard. He died on the Lusitania. He and his wife died on the Lusitania. Elbert Hubbard said, in view of the fact that God limited the intelligence of man, it seems unfair that he did not also limit his stupidity. And this is the last quote, and this is kind of mine. This is kind of the period I would like to put on our day together. And just know that I'll see you Thursday. But here is the last quote, mine. We obviously can't financially penalize stupid people or put all the stupid people in jail. But what we could do is get rid of all the warning labels and just let the whole thing work itself out. See you Thursday.